I am an unsmiling genius, a perpetual iceberg, until a girl stopped me. The crowd mocked, does an ugly duckling think she can get the campus heartthrob? I froze waves of emotion, stirring within. Because I'm bound to the death perception system, this girl will die in a month. Later, I gave her my sincerity and affection, yet she threw herself into someone else's arms, smiling brightly. Liam, I was just playing with you. The girl who stopped me is called Stella. She's from another department. I heard her family's circumstances aren't good. Either her parents died young, and she's been living with her grandmother. Her face flushed as she confessed, her voice trembling slightly. Liam, I heard no girl has ever moved. You could I be the exception? I frowned and remained silent. Death system told me this girl would die in a month. She hastily added, flustered, I can give you anything. I'll take good care of you. Shouldn't it be the guy taking care of the girl? Late autumn had already arrived. Is she cold in such thin clothes? Jessica, the campus belle, stepped out from the crowd and stood between us. Stella, take a look in the mirror and see what kind of trash you are. How dare you pursue our male god? The surrounding classmates also began to point and whisper. Stella didn't dare to refute. Her frail figure stood rooted to the spot, head bowed, stubbornly waiting for my response. In the past, I would have picked up my backpack and left indifferently. This time my mind raced at lightning speed, giving birth to a strange thought. She looked so helpless. If I rejected her again, would she leave this world a month later, believing it to be too cold and cruel? Would she even refuse to be reborn, unwilling to return to this world again? A storm brewed beneath my calm gaze. My expression turned icy as an inexplicable emotion swelled within me. She deserves it. I abruptly threw out 2 words, unable to hide the anger in my voice. Jessica, didn't expect me to respond like that, her eyes welling up with hurt tears. Everyone knew she pursued me fruitlessly for a whole year. Jessica, as #1 fan, my roommate, Mark, grabbed me by the collar. Liam, have you fucking lost it, falling for some plain girl and breaking Jessica's heart? I looked at him incredulously. What kind of prize was that pretentious campus belle of yours anyway? Only allowed to bully others, not letting anyone talk back to her. I frowned in disgust, shoved Mark aside with my body and grabbed Stella's hand. I like her, what's the problem? Jessica ran away, crying. Mark gave me a meaningful mocking smile and chased after her. Stella stared at me blankly, her bright eyes misting over with tears. This girl gave me a feeling both ethereal and cool, like a cluster of snowflakes blooming in winter, making one unable to resist the urge to protect her. Her hand was icy cold. After a moment's thought, I took off my coat and draped it over her shoulders. For the first time I looked at her properly. She wasn't ugly at all. Her eyes were moist and glistening like a startled fawn-s, and her skin was pale to the point of looking fragile. Her face was petite, too smaller than the palm of my hand. Strange, the scene feels oddly familiar. My heart skips a beat, throwing me off rhythm. Stella's dark eyes flicker in panic as she turns to leave. Liam, thank you for helping me. Thank you. I blurt out in urgency, Stella, aren't you going to treat me to a meal? The moment the words leave my mouth, I regret them. She doesn't have enough pocket money to treat me. Perhaps what I spend on a single meal at an off-campus restaurant equals her entire monthly living expenses. I made up an excuse, saying I wanted to try the cafeteria's signature spicy meat sauce. Along the way, classmates around us kept whispering that Liam, he's actually going to the cafeteria with a girl. Don't you know, Liam just confessed his feelings. How could he like such an ordinary girl? Oh my God, the eternal iceberg has actually melted. Stella was thin-skinned and began slowing her pace to keep some distance from me. When we reached the cafeteria, she grew visibly uneasy again, clutching her student ID card tightly in her hand. I could probably guess the reason as she swiped her card. I caught a glimpse of the numbers 30, spent 9 remaining. She finally breathed a sigh of relief, but my heart ached for her. Like autumn leaves in late fall, scattered in disarray by a strong gust of wind. A sudden impulsive and wild thought sprouted in my mind. 1 month's time to give her all the companionship and protection she needs. Liam, you can do this, right? So, without batting an eye, I took her student ID card and slipped it into my pocket. For now on, we'll eat together every day. I'll be in charge of keeping this card safe. She hesitated, thought for a long time, then said seriously, Liam, we're not in the same department. Our schedules don't match. It'll interfere with your studies. I pointed at the couple sitting together in the cafeteria and said casually, isn't this how boyfriends and girlfriends normally are? Truth is, I was far from calm inside. What if she rejected me again? What would I do then? Stella came to her senses, a faint blush quickly spreading across her face as tiny shimmering lights danced in her eyes. She met my gaze with disbelief, murmuring in a daze, so that untouchable person has been pulled down from his pedestal by me. I chuckled at her metaphor, though to be precise, I stepped down from that pedestal myself. Willingly, if your life is in tatters and complete chaos. I'm willing to be the one who pieces together the puzzle to assemble for you a world that is as sweet and warm as can be. For countdown 28 days, a cold wave arrived. My entire social media feed was filled with complaints about freezing to death. For some reason, an image popped into my head of Stella, looking frail and shivering in the cold wind. For the first time ever, I skipped class and asked my buddy Ryan to cover for me. Mark sneered sarcastically. The top student actually skipped class. Could it be for that girl? I couldn't be bothered to argue and rub salt in his wound. Instead, thriving in both love and studies, jealous that's just how skilled I am. Mark laughed in exasperation. Wait, you actually like her? In my hurry to leave, I didn't bother answering. I only had 2 hours left. I needed to speed up and make it back before lunch. After getting off the car, I headed straight to the women's clothing section of the mall. The variety of clothes gave me a headache, but I still picked carefully. I imagined each piece of clothing on Stella. Would it fit? Would she like it? When I arrived at the girls' dormitory with several shopping bags in hand, sure enough, my classmates were all bundled up in thick coats, some even wearing down jackets. Only Stella wearing a thin, worn-out coat, her cheeks flushed red from the cold, like snowflakes trembling in the cold wind, ready to fall at any moment. Luckily, Big Brother is here. I took out a thick down jacket and draped it over her, then picked out a matching hat. Stella burst into laughter. Liam, why did you buy so much? I can't possibly wear all of this. She has always been frugal and never wasteful, but I froze, taking a long moment to snap out of it. There's no way she could wear them all. Stella only has 28 days left. It's fine, we're a new set. Each day dress like a little princess. I sniffled, softening my voice. Stella, are you feeling warmer now? It's warm, so warm. Her smile sparkled like her eyes. Even the aloof campus heartthrob can be this warm. I froze for a moment, watching her laugh. I didn't deny it. The original Liam was indeed like a desolate, icy mountain. It took someone approaching for miracles to grow in that barren landscape. Liam, why are you crying? It's not tears, it's the cold. Damn, this weather is freezing. Stella quickly pulled out a brand new scarf from her bag and wrapped it around my neck. I knitted this scarf for you. Do you like it? I do, and it's warm too, but seeing her dark circles, I still frown. No more staying up late from now on. Gotta let us go eat now. For this meal, I deliberately ate very little, leaving most of the dishes for her. She is too thin. She needs to put on some weight. Back in the dorm, I ordered another takeout and wolfed it down. Ryan couldn't understand what I was doing and said cheekily, didn't I see you go out to eat with Stella. What up? Does dating take that much energy? Get lost? I threw a punch at him. 5 countdown 25 days. My eyelid has been twitching today. Mark was acting strange too, unprecedentedly treating me to a meal and trying to get me drunk. At the dinner table, he kept glancing at his phone, replying to messages, and his eyes avoided meeting mine. For some reason, Stella's image suddenly popped in my mind. I tensed up immediately and stood up. Mark, what have you been doing behind my back? Mark refused to tell the truth. I snatched his phone and saw his chat history with Jessica. My face darkened, just as I thought. Jessica had deliberately asked Mark to distract me while she gathered a group to corner Stella. I warned sharply, wait till I get back to deal with you. Leaving the restaurant, I anxiously dialed Stella's number. No answer. A bad premonition lingered in my heart. In nearly a full sprint, I rushed straight to the gymnasium. Sure enough, in a deserted storage room behind the gymnasium, Stella knelt in the corner, her hair disheveled, her coat already torn open. Jessica boasted to the crowd. Mark asked Liam if he liked Stella. Guess what? Liam didn't even answer. That just proves he was only toying with her. The crowd burst into laughter. Stella trembled and sobbed, unsure whether from fear or heartbreak. I remember now the reason I didn't answer that day was because I was in a hurry to buy clothes. A surge of fury ignited and rose within me, threatening to drive me insane. To hell with school bullying. How dare anyone treat the first girl Liam has ever cared about this way? I rushed in front of Stella, my gaze sharp as a blade, and glared coldly at Jessica. If you ever dare bully her again, you'll make an enemy of Liam, and I have 10,000 ways to deal with you. At the very least, many of Jessica's family businesses rely on my parents' company. Jessica didn't expect me to burst in her face, drastically changing color as she stammered to explain. I roared directly at her, take your people and get out. As I helped Stella up, I noticed her face was flushed red. The palm print was clearly visible, as if the slap had landed on my own face. A burning pain, I took a deep breath, trying to calm my emotions. It's all right, Liam. I'm not hurt. Stella lowered her head, avoiding my gaze. I promised her that nothing like this would ever happen again. He took out his phone again and posted a public Instagram update. Official announcement, your boy has a girlfriend, Stella. Within seconds, likes and comments flooded the screen. Stella looked at the post, crying and laughing at the same time, then whispered in my ear, Liam, we can date, but don't fall in love with me, okay? Was this some kind of tease? My ears burned crimson. 6 countdown 20 days. That Instagram post wasn't impulsive. I sent that message on purpose, not just to protect her, but also to let my parents know their son has fallen in love for the first time. This way I can rightfully use the money to treat Stella's illness. I admit at first, I only wanted to keep her company. But now I want to try to change the ending. Sure enough, Mom and Dad called one after another. They want to meet us tonight. I agreed. I hinted to Stella I've booked 2 health checkups, come with me. Stella grew extremely nervous, her eyes even showing a trace of fear. Liam, tell me quickly, are you feeling unwell somewhere? Nothing's wrong, just routine checkups. She sighed in relief, saying she was perfectly healthy and didn't really want to go. I think she's deliberately hiding her illness. I swallow my pride, shaking her arm, while acting cute. You have to stay with me. I'm such a coward. What if they find something wrong during my checkup? She laughed at my antics, linking her arm with mine, as she said gently, you'll live a long and healthy life. A sour ache welled up in waves within my heart. I averted my gaze, turning to look out the window. The sky was gloomy, too, concealing secrets no one could understand. Stella, I want you to be safe and sound too. In the evening, we had just entered the private dining room. My mother fixed Stella with an inquisitive stare. I tugged at her sleeve to remind her mom, be more reserved, you're making her uncomfortable. Shaking off my hand, my mother walked straight up to Stella and asked warmly, young lady, are you that little Stella from the big house on Leoshi Road? Stella nodded happily, her voice tinged with emotion. Uncle, Auntie, thank you for still remembering me. My mother beamed with joy. Even though we moved away later, I remember little Stella, the most. I've always liked her since she was a child. We're so happy you and Liam are together now. I tried hard to recall, vaguely remembering that during those mud pie days, there was indeed a little girl who always followed me around, impossible to shake off. I whispered, Mom, did I used to bully her a lot back then? My mother raised her voice so loudly that even the waiter outside could hear. Nonsense, you adored this little sister back then, and even said you'd marry her when you grew up. Stella also teased me, blinking playfully, that's right, big brother Liam, you even gave me a cartoon ring back. Then do you remember? My father chimed in, not just a ring, you two were the official CP in your pretend family games. One played the father, the other the mother, with lots of children. Too bad I hit my head and can't remember much from those days. I secretly rejoiced, unable to suppress the smile tugging at my lips. The girl I'd liked since childhood had returned to my side. I wasn't made of eternal ice. Even at that tender age, my heart had already learned to flutter. After dinner, we strolled through the garden. From the grove came certain indescribable sounds. Feeling awkward, I broke the silence. Sorry, I didn't recognize you earlier. You should have told me it was you. Stella lowered her eyes and hesitated for a long time before speaking. I never dared to mention it. Before, after all, we were so young back then. I was afraid you wouldn't remember me. Her cautious, hesitant demeanor made my heart ache. I broke the melancholic atmosphere with a joke. So when you approached me later, was it because my charm was simply irresistible? Her expression froze for a long moment before a faint smile finally appeared. She pressed a finger to her lips. Should that's a secret? I can't tell. Under the moonlight, she looked ethereal, like a celestial fairy, radiating a cool yet pure glow. Emotions surged in my eyes as I gazed at her with restrained devotion, my breath beginning to falter. Unable to suppress the impulse any longer, I leaned down and kissed her fiercely, yet clumsily. Stella responded shyly, leaving me dizzy like a small boat tossed upon the waves. We drifted for what felt like an eternity before gradually calming, finding our rhythm at last. Stella looked incredulous. Liam, you've really never been in a relationship? My gaze darkened, voice dropping lower. Never, but it can't be that hard. If you don't mind, shall we practice again? Stella understood my meaning and ran away shyly, leaving only moonlight scattered across the ground, swaying gently in my heart. Ryan was right, dating really is exhausting. That kiss left me completely drained. By midnight, I still couldn't calm my restless mind. 7 countdown, 15 days remaining. The medical report finally came out. The results were shockingly normal. I panicked, instantly overwhelmed by this loss of control over the situation. If it's not illness, then how will she leave this world? Suicide, homicide, accident. I ruled out the first 2 possibilities, leaving only one option, an accident. I planned to stay by Stella's side on that final day, never leaving her for a moment, ensuring her absolute safety. If nothing happens that entire day, could she possibly escape her destined fate? I comforted myself like this, but what if it's all in vain? Will I have to love her alone in my memories? In the sea of exam questions, right is right and wrong is wrong, and there are countless ways to solve each problem. But when it comes to matters of the heart, there's never a standard answer. I turned to Mark and asked Mark, if you knew someone was going to die soon, would you still love her? Mark let out a howl and bolted upright from under the covers. Is Jessica dying? I emphasized hypothetically. Mark thumped his chest and glared at me fiercely. Have you gone stupid from being in love? From time perspective, of course. You should be grateful there's still time to love her. I punched him hard in excitement, then turned and dashed out. For 3 years as roommates, this was the first time I felt we were on the same wavelength. I texted Stella, waiting for you downstairs at the dorm. How about hot pot? To my surprise, she outright refused. Liam, I already have plans next time. I frowned. Her tone was clearly dismissive. At the same moment, Jessica's message popped up. Stella was having dinner with a guy, looking absolutely delighted. I zoomed in on the photo. It was Ryan. I told myself not to overthink it and went to wait quietly at the restaurant entrance. 10 p.m. Stella stumbled out after drinking quite a bit. Ryan was supporting her. The distance between them was terrifyingly close. At this moment, no matter how rational I trembled with anger and pushed Ryan away. You had dinner with my girlfriend and got her drunk. Ryan remained silent, looking at me with a complicated expression. Stella sobered up considerably and pulled me aside. Liam, have you lost your mind? Can't we talk this out properly? How can I not be furious? You're my girlfriend, and he asked my best friend. I demanded, my eyes red with anger. Stella was clearly crying, yet a trace of contemptuous smile curled at the corners of her lips. Word by word, she shattered what little confidence I had left. What she said was, Liam, I told you from the start dating is fine, just don't fall in love with me. Then what am I, a plaything or a clown? I clenched my fists until my knuckles turned white. Stella uttered a few words, lightly think, whatever you want, it's all the same to me. She had turned cold again, as if never touched by any emotion. Ryan walked over and patted my shoulder. Buddy, I'll take her back to the dorm first, then come drink with you. And so that night, I got Ryan completely wasted, yet couldn't get any answers out of him. He sat in the corner, hugging the bottle, repeating over and over, Stella loves you very much. If only there were a girl who loved me like that, how wonderful it would be. I drank until I was vomiting bile, tears and snot streaming down my face as I cursed women for being heartless. Stella, if you love me so much, why won't you let me love you? 8 countdown, 10 days, facts have proven. Stella is not only heartless, but also cruel. If I don't reach out first, she would never contact me. When I confronted her about why, she casually explained, I'm a bit overwhelmed with schoolwork. Fine, you focus on your things, I'll continue my pursuit like a fool. I bought her 3 meals a day, constantly checking if she asked warm or cold. Just to see her once, I waited for hours in the freezing wind. Even if she remained silent, I would chatter endlessly. The campus gossip forum even had a dedicated thread titled, How did the aloof male god turn into a love-struck fool? Jessica also messaged me privately on social media, Liam, it must feel awful orbiting around someone else. I've been waiting for you to come back. I smirked coldly at her and at myself. Those consumed by love are always hard to understand. Battered and bruised between despair and hope, yet savoring every wound with strange delight. Stella was cold to me. It was disappointing. I tried to get closer to her, and she didn't refuse. Yet it was hopeful to describe this artistic scenario in one word. It would be pathetic. On Christmas night, the school held a winter dance. Ryan asked if I was going. Without looking up from drowning in my sea of problems, I replied, only kids play such boring games. Mark quipped sarcastically, look, there's a new comment on that lovesick fool S post. How will the campus heartthrob perform at tonight's Christmas party? I shot back, Mark, aren't you the lovesick one here? Everyone knew he was Jessica's #1 follower, rain or shine. Ryan burst out laughing. Mark, scowling, handed over his phone. Don't say I didn't warn you, Stella is going too. Under the post comments, there was a blurry snapshot attached. Stella arrived at the dance early, wearing a white dress with her roommate. In the crowd, she wore light makeup and a faint smile, yet outshone everyone else. I wavered instantly, closing the book. I said coolly, to satisfy these netizens' curiosity, I'll go. This pretentious act makes me want to slap myself. The ballroom was so crowded it suffocated me. I've always hated social events like this, but for Stella, I endured it. Several girls asked me to dance, but I refused them, all sticking close to Stella, as if afraid she might slip away. The climax of the ball arrived. All couples in attendance began dancing together in a collective waltz. I naturally walked over to Stella's side and extended a gentlemanly invitation. Yet her cool gaze swept right past me, landing on someone behind me. The next second, she strode straight toward Ryan, proactively extending both hands. Ryan froze in place. I pretended not to understand, humbling myself to coax her, let us stop fighting, okay? Stella was momentarily dazed, remaining silent for a long while. In the end, Ryan still extended his hand and accepted Stella's invitation. Suddenly, all the blood in my body froze, leaving me rigidly rooted to the spot. Just before the music began, Stella leaned against Ryan's chest with a radiant smile. Liam, I'm sorry, I was just playing with you. I stood there like a defeated soldier, watching them dance slowly with desolation. What exactly is love? How can it be so illusory, so fleeting? In the end, clarity and reason prevailed. My unfulfilled love, let it be. Stella, remember what you said today. Don't regret it. Clenching my fists, I swallowed my emotions and fled the scene. Jessica chased me all the way and cornered me at the school gate. Liam, wake up, Stella. ISNT worth this. I stayed silent. Jessica stepped closer, pressing near me. I jumped back as if electrocuted, keeping my distance. Warily, don't come near me. Liam will never be promiscuous. Jessica cried in frustration, gritting her teeth as she scolded me. Liam, I've chased after you for so long. Why won't you take pity on me? Pity, I laughed bitterly and retorted, if pity could make me like you, then Mark is worse off. Why don't you love him? Saying those words, I found the answer myself. That afternoon when Stella confessed to me, I couldn't bear to reject her, not just out of pity. More than that, I felt something inexplicable towards her. It was me who wanted to get closer. Jessica, please just let me be alone for a while. I wiped away my tears haphazardly and disappeared into the night. Love rises with the wind, but lingers when the wind ceases. Pain is pain after all. I'm not someone who only understands love. I pray devoutly. She can love anyone as long as she lives. Only 10 days left. I must plan carefully on the final day. I will ensure Stella's safety. 9 countdown 5 days. Keep her safe. Ideally, don't let her go out. The safest way is to have her stay with me, so I can keep an eye on her. I have an apartment near campus and moved in early. I'll pretend it's my birthday that day and invite her to my apartment to celebrate with me. Though she is currently very sweet with Ryan, often showing off their love on social media. It's so strange, she only posts sentences, never with pictures. The words are also oddly cryptic. Thank you for giving me the warmest moment in my life. You promised to marry me. I've remembered it my whole life. Life has 100 flavors, but there's sweetness too. If you wander too far, I'll come find you. This is truly the most profound and incomprehensible reading comprehension I've ever encountered. I kept studying these words over and over, researching until sleepless nights, even developing illusions and delusions. These words are they meant for me. 10, countdown, 3 days. Stella is truly insane. She abandoned me, then came looking for me again. Another afternoon, I had just finished my experiment and stepped out of the teaching building. Stella abruptly appeared before me, having followed me all the way. My face turned icy cold. Fine, playing the same old trick again, huh? In the deserted spot, Stella approached me, her voice trembling with a discernible quiver. Liam, do you hate me now? I hope you can forgive me. I froze, my heart filled with bitterness. I don't hate you, nor have I stopped liking you. It just faded from intensity into silence. Suddenly, she embraced me, kissing me wildly. Without a moment's hesitation, I responded fiercely, surrendering completely. The sweetness of regaining what was lost dispelled the bitterness in my heart. The next second, I crashed heavily back into the cold reality. Stella stammered, Liam, could you give me $20,000? I'm willing to give myself to you. Like a knife, it stabbed straight into my heart, the pain spreading throughout my body. I gripped her chin, tightly forcing her to meet my gaze. So what money can buy you, not me, Liam? I gritted my teeth in anger and punched the wall. Stella's tears fell as she sobbed pitifully. Liam, this money is for Grandma. Grandma is sick? No. Then what's the money for? I frowned, my expression icy. Actually, my mom told me privately to take good care of Stella, and our family would look after Grandma to the very end. Stella knelt down directly, her voice hoarse and raspy. Liam, please stop asking, okay? I can stop asking, but tell me honestly, were you just playing with me? Though I could guess the answer, I still wanted to confirm it again and again. Yes, Liam, I don't love you, Stella repeated dully. I smiled bitterly, my gaze darkening. If it's unrequited love, one must be prepared to lose everything. Stella, though I hate that you provoked me. But I also admire you, your utter lack of pretense. You've got guts. I pulled out my phone, transferred $40,000 to her account, and demanded with a stern face, one more condition, come to my apartment the day after tomorrow to celebrate my birthday. Stella sobbed uncontrollably. Okay, my heart ached with bitterness. No matter how she treated me, the truth was the moment she appeared before me, my heart softened. Liam, you were right to shut out emotions all these years. Love makes people grovel, and I've become that groveling fool. 11 countdown 2 days. Stella wasn't lying. This money was indeed meant for her grandmother. Stella had arranged for her grandmother to stay at a high-quality nursing home, providing her with a better living environment. That day, I silently followed her. She spent the entire day with her grandmother, combing her hair, soaking her feet, singing to her. When it was time to leave, her face was full of reluctance as she secretly wiped away tears. How strange, nursing homes don't prohibit visits. Why does this feel like a final farewell? 12th final day, I barely slept all night. I arrived early beneath the dormitory building to pick up Stella. Thankfully, she didn't stand me up. This day was destined to be filled with unease. A deep sense of fear enveloped me. Each passing hour felt like clearing another checkpoint. All I could do was pray humbly and pray again. In the end, I even gave up cutting the cake, because I was terrified. What if Stella choked on the cake suddenly and couldn't be saved in time? Stella's eyes crinkled with faint amusement. Liam, isn't this a birthday? Are we just going to sit here like this? I pleaded, almost desperately, gripping her hand tightly. This is perfect, just like this one. You stay with me. Her hand remained ice cold. Then let us watch a movie. Stella didn't seem surprised by my request. Okay, Stella chose a film roughly about how the male lead rebuilds his life after losing the female lead. But I couldn't watch for even a minute, stealing glances at her constantly. Yes, I'm afraid Stella might close her eyes silently, just like in a movie plot. Speak of the devil, Stella suddenly frowned, clutching her stomach. Liam, I got my period and my stomach hurts so much. I grew extremely nervous and hurried to the kitchen to prepare a hot water bottle and some warm tea. After enduring for a while, Stella spoke slowly. Liam, could you go buy some painkillers for me? I blurted out, what if something happens to you? Stella laughed bitterly. If you don't go buy medicine, I'll die from the pain. Then promise me you won't leave, call me immediately. If anything happens, I was completely panicked, giving endless instructions. The whole way there, I was restless. After explaining the situation to the pharmacy clerk, I bought the medicine and rushed back in great haste. I vaguely felt like someone was following me, but I didn't care. I just wanted to get home quickly to see Stella. Just as I reached the intersection, someone shoved me forcefully aside. Then came the screech of tires braking, abruptly followed by the violent sound of impact. Before my eyes, a frail figure fell like snow from a branch, fluttering to the ground. Blood stained the white clothes, telling the tale of fate, struggle, and cruelty. My entire body trembled uncontrollably as I screamed for help from passersby. Someone called 911, while others rushed to administer first aid. Stella gripped my hand, tightly enduring the pain, as she told me not to cry. Okay, I won't cry. I frantically tried to wake her. Stella, don't sleep, yet I haven't forgiven you. Yet she smiled faintly, as if all regrets had vanished and everything was let go. Then she closed her eyes quietly. Forever her hand fell limp. The ring I gave her dropped to the ground, lonely and abandoned. 13. I trembled with agony. Why was Stella following me? Why did she die, saving me? At that moment, a cold mechanical voice echoed in my mind. Death, target reset complete. Another puzzle mechanical voice sounded, warning the death system has been tampered with. As if grasping a sliver of hope in the darkness, I urgently pressed, if we revert the system, will Stella not have to die? The system pondered for a moment. Theoretically, yes, but the person who tampered with the system must personally reverse it. I pleaded humbly again and again, please tell me who tampered with the system. No matter the cost, I'm willing to pay it. The system was finally moved. After checking for a while, it sighed deeply. It can't be reversed. The one who tampered with the system was Stella. Side story: Stella's perspective 1. I bound myself to the death perception system. Liam would die in a car accident a month later, so I tampered with the data, transferring the death notice to myself. He had a bright future ahead, healthy parents, a comfortable life, and so much yet to experience. As for me, it seems I have nothing. Just as well I'd like to go to heaven and reunite with Mom and Dad. I mustered all my courage to confess my feelings and get closer to him. This was the boy I'd loved since childhood. I would give you everything, even my very life. Could you be my boyfriend? Let me taste life's sweetness and warmth in my final days. Please. He looked dazed and frowned, maintaining that aloof demeanor that kept everyone at arm's length. I had almost given up hope, but he agreed. I was overjoyed. Me, Stella, how could I possibly deserve this? 2 childhood memories. Liam seems to have only vague recollections. Auntie secretly told me that he had a head injury before and doesn't remember much from his early years. I see I'm not that disappointed anymore. He has always been radiant since childhood, extraordinarily handsome. In that residential area, there were many little girls dressed exquisitely, looking like dolls. But he didn't like any of them, only wanted to play with me. Later, they moved away to a place far away. He cried his heart out, clutching my hand, refusing to let go. Liam's father gave him a stern scolding, leaving him grimacing in pain. The pain seemed to strike me as well, burning fiercely. I voluntarily released my grip. Only then did Liam resign himself to fate, crying with snot and tears streaming down his face. Little Stella, I will definitely marry you. Because of those words of his, I endured countless long nights. He had endured all the hardships of life and later returned to his hometown, attending the same university as me. The enterprise founded by his uncle and aunt grew into the largest corporation in the city. Liam became the moon in the sky, making me gaze upon him with reverence. So the one who should leave this world shouldn't be you. Later it seemed he truly fell in love with me. I deliberately kept my distance, not wanting him to sink too deep. In the end, I steeled my heart and asked his roommate, Ryan, to put on an act with me. Liam, let me be your death-bound lover. Thank you for giving me the warmest, sweetest moments of this life. Remember, I loved you so much. 3. Although my uncle and aunt would take care of Grandma after I die, I still want to personally arrange everything. I went to Liam for money, using myself as leverage. Little did I know it would enrage him. Completely with reddened eyes, he fiercely demanded, would you go to anyone as long as they pay? My heart ached. No, Liam, only you. Because I believed that when I received your ring, I had already married you. In the years that followed, I devoted my whole heart to missing you and loving you. So I'll trouble you. The responsibility of taking care of Grandma, you'll have to share it with me. If it were anyone else, not a single penny, I wouldn't take it. For the final day, I forced myself to stay composed. Being able to stay with Liam, even dying, would be bliss. He seemed odd, neither eating cake nor watching movies, as if stealing himself for something. My period came unexpectedly, the pain leaving me dazed. It happened while Liam went to buy medicine. My whole body trembled, cold sweat pouring down. A terrible premonition rose within me. I was terrified, gritting my teeth through the pain as I followed him. Thankfully, everything was still in time. In that final moment, Liam gripped my hand, tightly begging me not to fall asleep, saying he hadn't forgiven me yet. I smiled. This was exactly the outcome I'd wanted. Loving someone only in memories is too bitter. Better to let him hate me. 5. The system asked me a strangely worded question. This life has been so bitter. In the next life, would you still be willing to come back to this world? Yes, I would. Life has 100 flavors: bitterness, sourness, pain, and sweetness. And Liam. Extra Ryan S. Perspective 1. This guy, Liam, I have to hand it to him. Looks and grades, everything about him outshines me, making me live as nothing but a foil. Even the girl I had feelings for was willing to die for him. But there's one thing he still can't match me, and I've coded a rebirth system. The death system only works once in this lifetime. None of you will have to die. You don't mention it too. Wherever I go, girls stop and scream. Not for me, but for Liam beside me. Yet he is perpetually icy, even turning down the campus bell. For a while I even absurdly wondered if he had feelings for me. 3. Liam wanted to try the cafeteria's signature spicy meat sauce. The girl in front of us in line. She perfectly fits my aesthetic like winter snowflakes, chilly yet pure. She just clutched her student card, looking somewhat embarrassed. Sure enough, the balance showed 9 when swiped. The girl's eyes even showed a hint of distress. Liam had been watching her all along. Eyes like the deep sea, boundless and unfathomable. I curled my lips into a knowing, satisfied smile. Damn this system, though icy and indifferent, mercilessly cruel. It still implanted some elements of romance. 9. Love everlasting. 4. Stella didn't dare to argue. I caught up with someone only to find it was that same girl again. Liam explained very seriously, classmate, you dropped your cartoon ring, you should take better care of it. Holy shit, his tone was actually gentle. The girl blinked her flustered eyes and muttered a thank you. Liam looked like he wanted to say something, but hesitated. I immediately went all out and boldly stopped the girl. Hello, classmate, my buddy here says he wants to be friends with you. The girl's smile sparkled brightly. What kind of friends? Suddenly, I was shoved aside by a powerful figure. Fine, when you don't need me, you'd gladly kick me to the curb. Liam domineeringly took my original spot and said coolly, boyfriend and girlfriend. Only I know he looks calm on the surface, but inside, he is freaking out. Guys who understands this act of playing it cool, I really want to smack him dead. The end.